This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton.
Yay! Welcome, America! I want to welcome all of the Home Talk USA radio audience that's now jumping over to this hour as we talk to inventors all across the USA, along with my co-host, the inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Again, we want to welcome all of you. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. Also, I want to thank all of the tweets and all of the emails that's been responding to our segment, the Invent America Show, which is part of the Home Talk USA family now. You'll want to know also when we are live, when I'm behind the famous Golden Hammer microphone along with my co-hosts. It's basically at 4 o'clock Central Time every Saturday on the Genesis Communication Radio Network with all our 61 radio affiliates all across the country. That's when we live. That's when we are here in the studio. Now, this show is broadcast at different times by different radio stations across America at different times. But you can also go to our archive page at HomeTalkUSA.com where we download the show. So it's always available to you 24/7, 365. You can also catch it on the Inventor Ladies website. And if you want to catch the archives. So there's a whole bunch of ways to catch the show. All right, I got that business out the way, and now I'd like to welcome my sidekick, the inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Hey, Miss Rita, how you doing?
I am fine, Michael, and it is so fun to be here. I want to add just a little bit. It is amazing to me how often, because I watch my phone on Saturday afternoon, someone will call me, and I'll say, how did you hear about me? They're like, I'm listening to you on the radio right now. So it is really fun when it's like, we're reaching out and really touching all of those inventors out there who just aren't sure what to do next, and we can give them that inspiration to take the next right step.
Well, what I want to also mention, Rita, is that, due to apps and on-demand and social media, this show is available 24/7, 365. So if you have to listen to us through the online streaming services, you really need to go down to your local radio station. And you want to really jump on them. And why they're not carrying this show?
That's right.
It's like, okay, it's all about education, information. That's what we do here. But you need to really put a strong local presence and say, hey, we got to contact the Genesis Communication Radio Network, and we got to get, the Invent America show on, because it's just a good show. It's a lot of education, information, and I love this show topic, you're going to be talking about that first prototype, which is it sets the stage to everything that we're talking about, right?
Well, that's not yes, it does. It sets the stage. But what we're talking about today is, that hard topic for inventors. It's like, where's the money?
Yeah.
And so, I get the inventors will call me up and they'll say, well, I want to get an angel investor. How do I do that? It's like, that's kind of an oxymoron. Those don't really exist anymore. And it's like, so what can we do? Where can I go to get funding? Funding for inventors is a really tricky animal. And so we're going to have a couple of different shows about that. Another big question is like, well, I'm going to get teed up and I'm going to go on Shark Tank. It's like, might not want to do that, Doesn't matter how expensive that suit is, the shark is still going to eat you. So what we're looking at today is, what are some of those basic options? Inventor, angel investor, maybe not. You might want to look back at those 3 F's. And the 3 F stands for friends, families, and other fools.
Yeah, other fools. That's right. But you know what? I could tell you, it's like buying a $5 stock. If you buy a $5, I call it penny stocks, but it's a $5 stock is what I call it. Every now and then, if you invest in a $5 stock, you're not going to go bankrupt. You're not going to jump off the cliff,
Yep.
But man, Rita, some of these $5 stocks actually hit. And boy, if you can get one to hit, it could financially secure you for the rest of your life, especially if you have a good license deal,
Absolutely. And so what we're looking at, you look at it from kind of two sides. Are you the inventor or the investor? And so, investors are looking for certain things, and that's what we want to kind of talk about today. Is like, so if you approach someone, you've got the right pieces in place. Our first guest is going to be one of the 3 F's. He had a great experience. It was his dad. I'm going to let him tell more about that. But the other guest, Todd, he had a horrible experience with an angel investor. Wow. And that's where we came up with the idea that angels aren't really necessarily angels. But the inventor will be better prepared if they know which category they're looking at and what they need to take to each one.
Well, I'm going to back it up just for a second. Last night on the History Channel, I was late in the evening. They do, foods that made America, and they had a segment last night, the Peanut Butter Wars in 1920, and it reminded me because of a licensing deal that the original Peter Pan peanut butter had with that food company in Chicago, and they really could not go against the big Heinz company, because people remember Heinz, obviously think of Heinz as the ketchup, but they don't realize in the 20s, Heinz was the biggest peanut butter distributor in the U.S. So I bring that up because it kind of reminds what we're talking about. Here's this poor guy trying to fight big, Heinz, and so he got a licensing deal, because he came up with this creamy peanut butter that really was easy to spread on bread, where at the time Heinz was a rough, he would tear the bread up. But the point I'm trying to make is that, he knew he couldn't do it alone, so he went to a food company and picked up a licensing deal, and the rest is history, because Peter Pan became so huge that he ended up buying the food company. Yeah. So let's talk about that. And I know we're going to have our first guest, and I thought I'd drop that on because when they mentioned license deal, it got my attention, So, hey, we're going to take a short break. Got to pay some bills. Please visit our website at HometalkUSA.com. You're listening to the Invent America part of our show here on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. Always support your local independent hardware stores and garden centers. And let's pledge to hire a vet today. I'm the Cajun man from the Bayou Land, the originator. Not the duplicator. Please don't accept no substitutions. Man, I was green before green was even cool. Me and Rita Crompton, the Inventor is going to be right back. Yay!
USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HometalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HometalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor lady, Rita Crompton.
Yahee! Welcome, America, back to the Invent America radio show, along with my co-host, the Inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton. Again, I want to mention this milestone. We're at 1,020. Well, Home Talk USA is at 1,027th episode. I think around November, Rita, we will be the longest running home improvement show in the country. The last, the two shows that took over, that started before my show, are no longer broadcasting anymore. So, hey, that's going to be a tremendous milestone, and I think it's going to happen around November.
That sounds exciting. We're going to have to celebrate.
Oh, yeah, we're going to celebrate. I can't wait to Las Vegas next year at the hardware show, that big house you promised me. You know, that's what I'm waiting for.
I know, right?
Well, you said you got a chef and you're going to cook.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm waiting
got to do
for
it right.
But, hey, who's our guest? Who's our guest?
Our first guest today is David Streen, and he is the inventor of Wedge Light. Now, I met Dave through our good friend Michael Miller. So, Dave, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you guys for having me, and congrats on the long-running show. That's amazing.
So tell us about Wedge Light, and then we've got a specific topic we're talking about today, and you've had some experience in that.
Yeah. So Wedge Light's my newest invention, and it's made for the automotive dent repair industry, where we wedge windows open to look down in the door. But we actually designed it for many other industries as well. Locksmiths will be able to use it, and security guards and stuff like that. So we're really excited about that product, and it was the most difficult one that my team's brought to market. So a lot of lessons that we captured there. Thank you.
Well, and so today our topic is the money issue. A lot of inventors at one point or another during the process will get into, it's like, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay the next bill? And so, we always look, David, Michael and I were laughing at the beginning. It's like the 3 Fs, friends, families, and other fools. And so you were on the fortunate side, because that is actually the easiest group to deal with, that you were able to get somebody in the 3 Fs category. Tell us a little bit about, how you managed that and how it went for you.
So, based on money, I kind of have a different aspect than most people do on it. A lot of people think money solves all the problems, and to me, it brings on and amplifies them. So I was lucky enough, like you said, my dad would always back me, and he'd catch me if I fell too hard or anything like that. But I always tried to fund my growth from the existing business versus always seeking outside. And looking back, it was a good thing, because I was a bit of a mess. I was one of the guys that jumped in the ring and figured it out as you go along. And so I was putting out a lot of fires all the time. And if you add a lot of capital to a system like that, you have a forest fire. And so now that I'm about 8 years into this, and I've got some really good systems and processes in place, and it's kind of a well-oiled machine, now it makes sense to dump some more money, into it and make it go faster, if that makes sense.
Well, and I appreciate what you say, because I have a lot of inventors who will say, all right, I've got 3 or 4 ideas, and it's like, which one should we pick? And it's the one that, we can do the easiest, the fastest, and have it fund some of the other things. So, where you learned your lessons then with the money, I think it's a really valuable one, that you were able to, put out all the fires, because everybody's got fires, and then you move forward with the next things that are going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, where are you now, and what's your next step? Because you said you've got lots of products.
Yeah, and I got up to about 100 products, and actually I've been going the other way this year and actually eliminating some of the SKUs and simplifying everything, not only for me and my operations, but for the customer to be able to shop and find what they're looking for. And so that's actually discontinuing some items and shrinking down my SKU list.
So where are you selling?
Grow better and faster. So I sell most of it on my own and in my Amazon, on my own website, edgytools.com, as well as on my Amazon store.
Okay.
So.
You want to become a sponsor for Invent America and sell them through here?
Yes, I do. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. That'll be exciting.
Now everybody out there in America is going to hold you accountable for that.
Man, hey, Rita, that got my attention quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and I have distributors all over the world that help me move my products and stuff. So it's been a growing process of learning how to do that. That's, you would think, hey, you're doing the same thing selling the tools, but now when I do a pricing strategy, that makes sense for me, for my distributors, as well as for the end user. So it's added a level of complexity into that.
And one of the other things that you've done now is your lessons that you have learned, you're willing to share those, and you wrote a book.
Yes, I did, yeah. It's called Invent to Get Rich. Yeah,
I like that.
To Get Rich. And it's the number 2, not T-O. So,
all right.
And they can. I'll give you guys a special gift. If they go to freeinventbook.com, I'm giving away for free there. They can just go instantly download it or order a paper copy.
Well, you need to send me that link so that I can go ahead and get it posted on the website for you. And because, you know, one of the things that we're always looking at is getting inventors the good information. And so many inventors do exactly what you did, is for, you know, kind of that knee-jerk reaction constantly, and then they get into trouble, and they don't have one of the 3 Fs to help bail them out or to, you know, stop the boat from tipping over. And what we want to be able to do is provide the good information sooner so that we have fewer of them tipping over. But then as you are learning from the process, how do you distill that? How do you take what you learn from one product and put it into the next product so that it's an easier flow?
Yeah, know your numbers.
Hey, Dave?
Yeah.
We got to run. I thank you so much. We got to take a short break.
Thank you.
Got to pay some bills. Hey, but give us that website and tell us a little bit about the book and what's your website?
Okay, so they can go to freeinventbook.com.
Okay, now what about your
trying to put the simple steps that I learned the hard way.
All right, now what about your regular website?
That's edgytools.com.
And just spell it out.
Yeah, EDGYTOOLS.com.
Well, Dave, I got a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot from you. I think you're going to be a part of this show for a long time. So I really commend you. I've been doing this a long, long time, and I really commend you helping out. Because it would be a shame that if we can have a great technology that can really change our lives, but it's never going to get to market because of the stumbling blocks, is what I'm saying.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Oh, right, thanks, Dave. Have a wonderful day. Yep, thank you.
You too.
Bye.